Hello fellow YouTubers. It's been one of those days today. Monday, June 4. And it all started this morning. Yeah, as soon as I got out of bed. Oh, it's mandatory to pee. It always is. Oh yes. But this time I had to poop. That's very unusual for me, but when you gotta go, you gotta go. So I sat on the toilet, and of course I peed as well. And I did my business. And then when I was wiping, my finger went through the toilet paper. Don't you just hate that? Happens to everyone, doesn't it? Oh, don't like it. It's horrible. So anyhow, I cleaned up that finger as best I could. And then I wiped myself clean, and I got dressed, keeping the finger out of the way, of course. Pulling up my shorts. Then I went into the bathroom and washed my hands and really scrubbed the finger. And I was sure it was clean. I wiped my hands. But you know, the mind is a funny thing. Psychologically, it's a funny thing. I still didn't feel like my finger was clean after that scrubbing and washing. So I washed and scrubbed it again. Then I went out into the kitchen to have my breakfast, and as usual I put the jug on to boil it to make a pot of tea. I've got tea here, as a matter of fact. So here's another thing, you see. I normally have this over the tea, but it wasn't. Now the tea's probably gone cold. That's just another thing. It shows what sort of day I've had. The thing I moved aside was this rag. It's filthy. God, it smells. You might have wondered why I've just put that cozy back over the tea. Wonder why I had a rag there. Well, I'll show you shortly. So anyhow, I then put 2 slices of bread in the 2-slice toaster. But you see, the toaster's got a very smooth dial on it, and accidentally you can, by moving it, you can turn it up too high or too low. Well, evidently being moved and it been paid up too high. And of course I put the toast down, and instead of it popping up, it took its time, and before it did, I could smell the smoke. So I popped it up myself. And of course the smoke drifted over to the smoke alarm, and the smoke alarm went off, and of course our dog started barking his head off at the smoke alarm noise. So anyhow, I had to grab a placemat and just wave it down to clear the smoke away from the smoke alarm, and eventually it stopped, and so did the dog. Right, so, but everything else went okay. I had my cereal, and I scraped the charcoal off the toast, and I had that, and a cup of tea, and then I filled my mug up and nuked, and I was going down the shed, and I noticed on the floor there was something lying there. To me it looked like a piece of potato peeling, but as a closer look it proved out that it wasn't. It was, well, I'm not sure what it was. I thought it might have come from the dog or the cat, but I don't know which end. So I got a piece of paper toweling, and I toweled it up, and I smelled it, but it didn't smell really bad, but I got a bit on the finger again. Yeah. So anyhow, I put that bit paper toweling in the garbage, and then I scrubbed my finger again, and I wiped myself dry. And I grabbed my mug of tea, and I went down here to my Fortress of Solitude, my shed office, and then I used a wipe, a hygienic wipe, to on the finger again. So yes. So anyhow, as I'm and I sitting here having a mug of tea, and I decided that I was going to use my little oxyacetylene unit. Well, it's not actually acetylene. You see what it is, it comes with this, one of these MAF gas things with this, and with the oxygen cylinder. Now I bought this oxygen cylinder about a month ago, and it cost me, well, it's $52.95. That's terribly expensive damn things. And the oxygen will last about 20 to 30 minutes. Very, very expensive, but they're very handy. But so I screwed this new oxygen cylinder on about a month ago. Anyhow, I was going to say, to cut a long story short, I really can't cut a long story short. No. So I got the unit out, and I looked at the dial after I turned it on, and it was empty. The damn thing had leaked. Yeah, $52.95 worth of oxygen gone. That means I've got to buy another one. Or will I? So that's why I've got the cylinders here, you see, just to remind myself what I've got to do, or what I might do, you see. I'm just going to put them on the floor, excuse me. No, I better not, I'll probably trip over them. Put them there. No, they'll probably fall down. Now I'll stand that one up because it's got a flat base. It'll stand up, but the oxygen cylinder got to lie down. So anyhow, I decided that I would go outside and I would. I had a little welding job I wanted to do. I didn't want to particularly do a welding job because I thought it might blow away the little. I'll show you. Excuse. Oh yes. So then I decided that maybe I should go outside and do a little welding job. Now you see, what happened is when I was away last year camping, the slings on two of my rifles broke. So I finally remembered I had to replace them. I had to make 2 new ones. Well, I had a couple of straps here that would do nicely. So I took off the swivel from the butt of the rifle, and this is where the sling goes around your title. So I got a nylon, a very strong nylon strap. It's about this wide and oodles long. So I plan to thought to myself, maybe I can weld this onto a big chain link, a white chain link, and I can then just cut a hole on the other side of the link and just thread the strap through, and it should be honky-dory. But the thing is, I was worried about that welding might blow this away. See, it's not very thick, as you can see. So I got out my my Map Pro torch. See? This thing here. Nearly empty. I'm not surprised. Another thing nearly empty. So I'm going to go outside and just do it outside. But then it started to rain. That's okay, we need the rain. So I thought I'd do it on the metal plate on the bench top. I don't know why I didn't think of doing that in the first place. So I don't know what I got so upset about not being able to go outside. But anyhow, so that's what I plan to do. And I did a little bit of practicing, and it looks like it might work, doing a little bit of brazing. I did the brazing rods with the so I've got plenty of little brazing rods, and they've got the flux on it, and all you do is you just put the flux on, you heat the metal up, put the flux on first, and heat your pieces really up. It worked out really well. I don't know what I'm going on about. I'm really flapping my gums about that sort of stuff. I don't really need to tell you about that, do I? Whew, now I'm quite warm. And well, it has heated up a little bit. It's not that cold really, but I have got my jumper on. I put it on first thing this morning. And so anyhow, after I did that little bit of practice, and that went all right, I thought, well, something's going right for a change. And oh well, actually, when I said it started this morning, it actually started late last night, just before I went to bed. I was doing a little bit of exercise, with my my strap here. You see this strap? You use it all the time. You double it over and what have you. Well, another piece broke off last night. A piece about that long. So now this is only twice that length. You see. And I was lucky it didn't take my eye out when it went. So anyhow, as you can see, I've had a pretty interesting sort of day. So I'm just going to take it easy now, because it's only a matter of time, if I start to do something else, that some of those vagaries and vicissitudes will come along and get me in again. So I might just say, well, I want to thank you for watching. And it's very late afternoon here. It's, holy smoke, it's 5:10, and it's almost dark. So this is evening for me. So good evening, and good afternoon, good night, good morning, whatever. And bye for now. Oh yes, the reason I had the rag on there, I was not this one. I had put these outside to see. I was going to put them in the shed because these got to be taken down to the tip. You can't put them in the garbage bin. And but anyhow, they were out on the bench and they both got wet, so the rag here drying them off. You know, but what really annoyed me is it's $52.95 for 20 minutes of oxygen or so, and you can't refill it. Now this thing's built like a tank. I don't know why you can't refill it. I think it's a scam. I think it's a rip-off. Anyhow, so that's what I had the rag for, just in case you were wondering and thought he's forgotten to tell us what he had the rag for.